Love is not a noun. Love is a verb. Understand? Keep this in your mind. What does it mean when we say that love is not a noun, but a verb? A noun is a thing, a name for something that can be seen or touched, something that exists in a specific form. A verb, however, is an action. It's something you do. It's not enough to just say, I love you. If love were simply a noun, it would remain static, confined to a word. But love is much more than that. Love is a dynamic force. It moves, it grows, and it shapes the world around us. And if we want to truly experience love, we need to turn it into an action. Verbs have actions. Words have power. Verbs, in their essence, are filled with potential. They propel us into action, they guide us, and they inspire change. Words alone are powerful, but it is the verbs, the actions, that carry that power into the world. Just think about it. If we only speak love but never act on it, how can we expect it to grow? Love, when left as a noun, becomes a static idea that resides only in our minds, never manifesting in the real world. But when love is put into action, it transforms everything around us. It becomes a living, breathing force. So if it was with words, it becomes a noun just to a word. Love can't remain just a word. Words without action are empty. Love, as we often understand it, can become something as simple as a phrase that we repeat to one another. I love you, we say. But if that's all there is, if love only lives in the words we speak, then what have we truly done? Love isn't just an expression, it's a demonstration. It's how we show up for people. It's how we show care and compassion through our actions. Only then can love truly be felt. We always say, I love you, I care for you, but we don't do it by our actions. It's easy to say, I love you, but much harder to show it. We often say these words, but how often do we act on them? How often do we show the love we claim to feel? The truth is, many of us fail to back up our words with meaningful actions. We might express affection in our relationships, but sometimes that's where it stops. The real challenge, the real beauty of love, comes when we push beyond words and let our actions speak for us. Love should be put into action. Love should be made a verb. So now, let's pause and reflect. How can we make love a verb in our own lives? How can we take the love we feel, the kindness that exists within us, and put it into practice? This is where the true power of love comes into play. It's not just about feeling love, it's about expressing it. It's about making it visible. It's about bringing it to life in the way we act, in the way we treat others, and in the way we carry ourselves in this world. How can I put it into action? One way to do this is through self-reflection. We need to ask ourselves, how can I make my love more real? How can I express it in a way that shows others what it means to love? Love isn't always easy. It's not always clear-cut, but the more we focus on it, the more we practice it, the more natural it becomes. Love is not something that can be confined to words alone. Love requires actions, intentional, thoughtful actions that reflect our care and compassion. We have to express it not just with our words, but with our deeds. The more you put into it, the more you express. Express love from actions, and you can feel the love. Have you ever heard the saying, actions speak louder than words? This saying is a cornerstone of what it means to make love a verb. Love is felt through actions, not simply through words. We can say, I love you 100 times, but if we don't back it up with the way we treat someone, then those words are hollow. It's through actions that love is truly expressed and experienced. When we care for someone, when we make an effort to show up for them, when we give without expecting anything in return, that's love in action. Why? There's a saying, actions speak louder than words. Isn't it? Yes, it is true. The saying holds deep meaning. Actions are the proof of our words. They're the true reflection of how much we care. If love were only about saying the right things, then the world would be full of empty promises. But love is about showing up for others, in big ways and small. It's in the little things we do, whether it's a simple gesture of kindness or a grand sacrifice, that love becomes real. Sadhana is all about love. Giving is always about love and kindness that you practice. Sadhana, in the context of spiritual practice, is all about love. It's about giving and sharing, not just in material terms, but through the offering of our time, energy, and care. It's about reaching out to others, helping them, and supporting them without any expectation of reward. When we practice kindness, we aren't just doing something nice. We're embodying love in its purest form. Every act of kindness, every moment we choose to give rather than take, is a reflection of the love we hold inside. You put it into action not only for people who you know, but also for all the people, but for the strangers. Love doesn't stop with the people we know. It extends beyond our circle of friends and family. True love, true kindness, is not limited to those who are close to us. It is for everyone, whether we know them or not. It's easy to be kind to those who are close to us, but what about the stranger on the street? What about the person who disagrees with us? What about the person who has hurt us in the past? Can we still show love to them? Can we still be kind? The answer, if we are to truly embody love, is yes. Love has no boundaries. It is universal. See, now you all are gathered here. You don't know each other. But one thing can make the connection between us. What is that one thing? The love, the kindness. This gathering is a perfect example. Each of you may not know the person sitting next to you. We come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, and different experiences. But there is one thing that connects us all: love. The love that brought us here today. The love that drives us to seek truth, to seek understanding, and to grow as individuals. That love is what unites us. And it is through love that we can create a world where people care for one another, no matter where they come from. That is what Supreme Buddha did in his entire life. He practiced the love that no one can to an extent. Supreme Buddha is a perfect example of love in action. He demonstrated, through his words and actions, what it means to embody love. He sacrificed everything, his comfort, his wealth, his family, to pursue a life of compassion and wisdom. He gave up all material things to serve others, to teach, and to help others realize the potential for love and peace within themselves. His love was unconditional. He did not limit it to his close circle, but extended it to all beings, regardless of their background or beliefs. He had to sacrifice a lot of things, and only the unimaginable things to practice this quality. The Buddha's path wasn't easy. He had to sacrifice comforts that most people would never dream of giving up. He left behind a life of luxury, his family, his kingdom, everything he knew, because he understood that true love isn't about what you possess, but about what you give. He chose to give of himself, to help others, to teach others about the power of love and compassion. His sacrifices were unimaginable, yet they were necessary for him to become the embodiment of love. See, sometimes to practice love, we have to let go. We have to let go of things. We have to let go sometimes of material things. In our own lives, we too may have to sacrifice. To practice love fully, we often have to let go of things that hold us back. Sometimes, this means letting go of material possessions, because they can create attachments that keep us from truly giving ourselves to others. Sometimes, we have to let go of the anger or resentment we hold inside. These emotions prevent us from loving fully. And sometimes, we have to let go of the hurtful things that others have done to us. We may feel justified in holding on to these hurts, but true love requires forgiveness. True love is about freeing ourselves from the burdens that prevent us from giving our whole heart to others. Sometimes we have to let go of the anger. Sometimes we have to let go of the hurtful thing that the other person has done to us. We have to let go of it. This is perhaps one of the hardest lessons to learn, to let go of anger and hurt. We all carry pain from past experiences, relationships that went wrong, people who hurt us, situations that we couldn't control. But holding on to that anger only keeps us trapped in the past. It prevents us from moving forward and from truly loving. We cannot love when our hearts are heavy with resentment. To practice love, we must choose forgiveness. We must choose to let go of the things that bind us. And when we do, we create space for love to flourish. I know it is difficult practicing these things. I understand that these practices are not easy. They require effort, patience, and a willingness to grow. Love isn't always simple. It's complex, it's challenging, and it asks us to give more of ourselves than we might be comfortable with. But it is in that very challenge that we discover the depth and beauty of love. Practicing these qualities, amazing qualities, is not that easy. Yes, practicing love, kindness, and forgiveness is not easy. It takes work, but it is through that work that we become better people. And the more we practice, the more we grow, the more we feel the value of these qualities. The more difficult the task, the greater the reward. When we overcome the obstacles to love, we experience a deeper connection to ourselves and to others. And I think it is much better for these things to be difficult. The more we become difficult, the more we feel the value, the more we feel the need of doing it. This difficulty is actually a blessing. It's through challenges that we develop resilience, understanding, and compassion. The tougher the journey, the greater the reward. We cannot take love for granted. It requires us to stretch beyond our limits, to push ourselves to new heights. And in doing so, we create a world filled with kindness, compassion, and true love.